Hi, I'm Bill.
I'm Laurie.
And if this is the first time dropping into our channel, welcome. This is episode 3 of the Paddle Tap podcast. Today is July 10th, I think. And before we get into everything, I want to make mention we have a video that we put up about the carbon paddle eraser. I use the Ronbus R1.16 paddle. It's a raw carbon fiber, and there was a lot of grit that was building up on it, and so I purchased one of these. I like the product. I'm using the product, and I put a link to the product in the video description. We have an affiliate marketing relationship with Amazon, so if you use the link to go to Amazon and buy this product, it's $14.99. We get a few pennies in exchange, so it's a great way to support the channel. If you're feeling a bit charitable, and it's at no additional cost to you if you use any of our links. So please keep that in mind. A great product, though. All right, so geez, I kind of forgot what we're going to talk about. No, I'm just kidding.
We're starting out like this.
Yeah, we're starting out like this. In the other two episodes, so. This is a good thing because this is the third week, entering the third week of this journey of getting ourselves ready to start playing mixed doubles tournaments, age 70 plus, in February 2024. So, so far we're doing okay.
Well, we're husband and wife, so you know that it can lead to conflicts on the court.
It sure can.
And in real life.
And in real life.
So we're starting out like this, and then we might move apart.
And we're continuing to learn how to communicate, and we'll get into that maybe in a little bit. I guess just general pickleball news. Again, I'm really getting into Major League Pickleball, and I was incorrect that I thought the draft was going to be on today, the 9th rather. It's actually on the 12th, and Zane Navratil and Thomas Shields, Pickleball podcast, are going to be live streaming and doing analysis and updates around the Major League Pickleball draft.
Is there a podcast called The Dink?
Oh, well, I think the Dink is think of it as like a company.
Oh.
And Zane and Thomas is the Pickle Pod.
Oh.
And then there are other podcasts under the Dink
umbrella.
I
see.
I think that's kind of how it works. But the key thing is if you go to Major League Pickleball's site, you will now see the 185 men and the 185 women that are eligible for the draft. So they have that information up there if you want to check that out.
I read that there are like 600 applicants to be that wanted to participate in this in the draft. That's amazing. That'd be that many players.
Yeah, no, I think that's healthy, and I guess they winnowed it down to 185 per gender that are eligible. So it'll be interesting to see. And they have the rank order of the men and women based upon their DUPER score. So. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to the next season of Major League Pickleball. You kind of made a comment about social media and visibility of people that were in the Challenger League in the last season. Did you want to?
Well, not only the Challenger League, almost all the top pros are also on social media. I see them mostly on Instagram and Facebook. And they're giving advice in very short format. I find it most of their advice to be very very helpful. Of course, I like to always get advice from different people. So, but Callie Smith, Tyson McGuffin, Zane Navratil, Catherine Parento, just almost all the pros, and some of the people on the Challenger League are also. Christian Alshon, my favorite.
Yes, you're crushed. You're crushed. And while we're not pros, we are on Instagram, 2512 Pickleball if you'd like to follow us on Instagram. We put regular content up there around rec play and some of our drills and those type of things and other pickleball related things that we could put a camera on and share with you. We have something up there right now called Break the Pyramids, where we were out last Sunday with some friends on the rec courts doing some drills with the ball machine. So
It's amazing. I think Bill just posted it last night. There's over 1,000 views already.
Yeah, it's a popular reel, I guess they call it, or whatever. So yeah, so that's good. Was there anything else we want to talk about last week? I think was at the video of the week.
Yes.
So here's where we make a recommendation based upon something that has helped us each individually as far as development purposes. And mine would be one by Simone
Jardine.
And it's on third shot drops. I found that very helpful to me, where to stand after you serve and those type of things. So I'll put a link to that video. It might be helpful to you if you're working on your drop shot technique. Of course, she has many other great videos. And again, I think I said that before. I try to limit which people I watch, and so I've added her to the mix, Simone.
Who do you follow? Okay.
Yeah, Tyson McGuffin and
Kyle McKenzie.
Jordan Briones. Those are the three that I look at currently that I find helpful for my development.
So my video of the week is Point Breakdown on Briones Pickleball, and it includes play by Caden Niemoff, and this title is Learn 5 Years of Strategy in 15 Minutes. And it's it's a point breakdown of a match including Caden Niemoff and Peza. I forgot what Peza's last name was. Tioni.
Oh.
And it's just their approach to play, their partnership, how they move together on the court. And it also dispels one of the myths that players should also stay together back and forth. And so at some point, one player might move ahead just because they notice that the other player is getting the ball. So it's very helpful, and I think you enjoy it. It's not very long, but it's very informative.
Yeah. Pesa really motivated me. Laurie and I ran into him down in Newport Beach at a Tyson McGuffin camp, and he was one of the instructors. Excellent person to work with, good coach. And we were playing against him, and it just dawned on me. He just put, I think he had a Selkirk 003, and he was just dropping volleys right close to the net in the kitchen on the other side from the mid transition zone, and it was like effortless to him. And I said, okay, you can do that. I need to learn how to do that. So that's really motivated me on working on my third shot drops and volley drops or from the transition zone. But Pesa, yeah, he was fun. I think we got a picture of you and him from that camp.
I don't know.
Yeah, real good.
Well, we took pictures with all the coaches.
Yeah.
They were all really personable, and I'd recommend a Tyson McGuffin camp if you had one locally.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we're doing camp recommendations. All right. So we kind of went through the video now, kind of this past week. We want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
We played pretty much every day last week. And so for me, this is from my perspective, I think I'm still trying to get to the right ratio of rec play and drill time. And I think right now I got a little bit too much rec play time and not enough drill time. So I need to work on that going forward. Other than that, it was fun to share the ball machine with our friends. That was a good experience, and to see what their thoughts and comments were.
So it's the Slinger ball machine.
Yeah, it's the Slinger bag. pickleball machine, pickleball launcher.
And it also has an oscillator included, so the ball will move. So two people can be using the ball at the same time, or it helps you move to the ball. Um, so I think having a ball machine is such a luxury.
Yeah, and we're going to expand on that in a little bit. But so the past week was it was a good week. We didn't have any fights, so on the court. So that's good, and we'll talk a little bit of, I think, coming up about communication and those type of things. So yeah, it was good, but now I want to get myself a little bit more organized on drill versus rec play, and maybe I'll step back a little bit from the rec play and up the drill time a bit more going forward. And I am going to build a spreadsheet, and it is going to be a matrix of the different shots from the different areas of the court. And I need to keep track of how much I'm working on which shots, and that way I know which shots do I have more confidence in, and those that I have less confidence in, I should be drilling more on, I think. So I need some way to manage myself. And for me, it's being a former program manager, project manager, kind of that approach with a spreadsheet and everything is often helpful to me. So what about the past week for you?
Oh, I thought it was a lot of fun. And having, of course, I said having the ball machine is just really fun because you're able to, and productive, I think. You're able to practice one shot repeatedly and give you muscle memory. And so this past weekend, we were working on block volleys, reset volleys in the transition zone, and moving up and back towards the net and behind. And of course, all our friends wanted to do it too. And I could see that even their play had improved. I mean, their ability to do a reset shot or a block shot was helpful to them in our final game.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking about our final game, we are going to start recording more our rec play, and then we're going to produce some content going forward of Laurie and I showing you how we analyze our play. And this is also important, I think, in developing team communication, in particular with me, husband and wife here. Being able to look at the tape after the fact and then just really, just help each other understand what's working, what's not working, what maybe we can do better. It's not in any, sometimes when you try to do that conversation on the court, that may not be the best time to do it, although eventually I think it has to happen at the court because things are situational, and you may play two people in one game that have certain traits, and then you play two other people, they have different traits, and so you need to be able to adjust your play on the court, I think. But we'll work on that in the longer run. Yeah.
So why don't we talk about our lesson today?
Okay, yeah. So good topic. You want to kick it off?
Well, when we were beginners, we had an instructor who taught group classes as well as individual or pairs to develop our game and give us instruction. And I think it's really helpful to beginners. You might learn the basic rules on how to play just from our friends, but if you want to improve, I think instruction from someone who knows what they're talking about, knows how to communicate the approach to the game is really helpful.
Yeah, no, I think when you're first starting out, getting a good foundation, the basic techniques for the various shots from a knowledgeable, skilled instructor is very important, at least it was to me, in getting me up and going. Again, some people like to do things on their own. They want to watch videos. They want to, work with their friends and do it, okay, I guess that's, your game, your way.
But I think it's also your background. I mean, if you already are familiar with playing a racket sport like tennis or racquetball, you don't need beginner instruction really. You might need instruction on how to play pickleball and how it might be different from your tennis or something. But if you don't have any racquetball experience, or I mean, racket experience, then I think having an instructor at the very beginning is helpful.
Yeah, and I think either way, because I see tennis people bring in tennis play onto the pickleball court, and they, in my mind, miss some of the nuances of pickleball play. Yeah, I think working with an instructor early on, even if you're bringing some skills with you to the court, is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not that expensive. I think it's more about finding the right one, and one that you have confidence in and has an instruction style that's compatible with how you learn. So that kind of brings us to today with Marcia Nishi, who we worked with several years ago off and on, and she's now our coach working with us. And the great thing about working with her today is, we're not beginners. So her ability to help us, is excellent, and she knows what our goals are, that we want to play tournaments, and the way she structured the lesson was fantastic. She was focused on shot technique, she was focused on teaming and strategy and moving and everything, and that might not be what you would get as a beginner when you're just learning how to dink and do some of the basic shots. So she met my expectations today, 200%, and for me, it was just a very good lesson. We can go in what I need a lot of work on, but how about you? You felt good about the lesson?
Yeah, it was the movement. We did go to another camp where they did focus on movement while we were, that you need to move back and forth in the court, even when doing simple dinking. But because she was able to speed up the ball, and when we weren't expecting it, we really needed to be ready and aware whenever the ball was coming. And she said, when you're starting out, it's good to just warm up with what she calls dead dinks. But as soon as you can, start doing more aggressive dinking, so you don't get into the habit of just doing dead dinking. And the communication between the two, and squeezing the middle at times to get the ball. And she doesn't say this should be your side, my side. Sometimes Bill was in the middle, and then I was over the center line. And she says the center line's only benefit is during the serve. Yeah. Otherwise, it serves no purpose. You shouldn't be worried about staying on your side.
Yeah. It was more about the ball movement on the dinking exercise. She would. So you were in the center of the right court. I was the center of the left court, and then she'd start to dink, and we'd kind of squeeze, and then she'd bring me out wide, and then Laurie would move over towards the center.
Yeah. So actually, I not paying attention to where I was. Actually, I was straddling the center line.
Yeah. So I mean, it was
and I got the ball.
Yeah. And then helping us understand. Even though it looked like it was on my side, it was better for your backhand, so you need to take those. Again, she knows that for our tournament play, we're going to eventually stack, and that Laurie will play the right side, I'll play the left side. So she's incorporating that into the lessons.
But she did have us switch places too.
She did, yeah, she did. We switched sides, but she basically started us with dinks. And then she knew that I wanted to. I've always felt that my serve is not legal, and
or consistent, too.
Well, I had a consistent illegal serve with a lot of topspin, but it wasn't legal. So now I'm rebuilding my serve, and she's working with me on that. So it's going to be inconsistent. Sometimes you got to break something down. I mean, it was illegal anyway. I had someone call me on it for the first time last week, which was a big plus because it told me, okay, I agreed with that person, so now I just got to rebuild my serve, and so that's going to be one of my focuses drilling going forward, and I'll get that serve working properly. So,
Well, her main thing is when you serve, you want to look at the ball, not look where you're going to go, and then keep your arm next to you, just like you were bowling.
yeah, I was doing a big wind up behind my back and everything, and so she worked with me on that, and I will admit, Laurie's been telling me that I shouldn't be doing that all along. But now Marcia has confirmed it, so now Laurie can help me when I'm drilling, make sure that I'm not going far behind my back with a swing and everything. But yeah, so, and then we moved on to punch.
What about the communication part? Well, one of the things she did talk to us about the communication, and when I'm playing, I can't think and vocalize, "Oh, it's yours," or
Well,
very often.
I've always wanted Laurie.
So let me finish.
Okay.
And so she said it's okay for one person to do most of the communicating. Like he'll say mine, yours. I mean, and Bill's a lot better. He wants us to call the shots. So I don't mind if he's the one who says yours is mine. I don't have to be thinking about it. So you're going to call all the shots, right?
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Because I can't think and play at the same time.
Yeah, so that's okay. So, each of us has strengths and weaknesses, and as a team, we can help each other. If someone has a strength, and I don't mind calling, because, I don't mind telling anybody what to do, particularly Laurie. So, I'll call them, and if that works for you, that works. So, yeah, that was good, and yeah, I think that was a big takeaway on because that is just something we're gonna have to sort out. The other thing she said is before the point, identify who's going to take the middle. Don't wait until the ball's in play, and now okay, who's got the middle? Because at one point we both went for the ball, and she goes, okay, 2 paddles are better than none. But so just little things like that, and that's why I'm referring to her as a coach. So we have some basic ability around the various shots. We understand how to score and those attributes. We know it's about getting to the kitchen line. Now we just need someone that is observing us and helping us make those changes to step up our game or improve our technique or whatever. So yeah, so that was good. It's a great lesson today. Anything else in particular about the lesson?
Yes. We did practice volleys. So I have no problems doing a backhand volley, but my forehand volley is really weak. I guess I use my wrist too much. I don't keep the ball out front and the paddle out front, and I kind of have a tendency to flip like that. And I think my biggest problem is getting my body out of the way so I could be in the right position. I don't know exactly how I'm going to work on it. I guess mostly with the ball machine. I think that would be really helpful.
I mean, essentially it was she was feeding us the balls a little bit high and then just punching him down. She was in the middle of transition zone. She wanted us to punch him down at her feet. And so I think we can replicate that by putting some cones on the ground and then have the ball machine put it at a particular elevation and then just get your punching down.
Actually, I think what helped is I just had my hand up like this when we were practicing so that I knew what the right position would be instead of flipping like that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to
And I think
start with that.
the other thing is, sometimes a person might have their paddle open, and then you go to punch it, and the ball pops up. So she wanted us to, have the paddle down a little bit more, and lean out into the kitchen.
Yeah.
With
Push
the
it
paddle
out.
a little bit,
Yeah.
closed as opposed to open. So, again,
Well, I hit my backhand volley to like right here, and I moved. I'm pretty good about moving to the ball, so I hit the ball pretty square. But on my forehand volley, getting my body out of the way is a problem. So I think that's why I end up kind of going like that.
yeah, and these are things, we've basically got 7 months left before we play our first tournament, so we got plenty of time to work on these things. And I can't tell you how happy I was about the lesson, because I felt the ball machine by itself was not going to get us to where we wanted to go. But the ball machine with a coach, and the coach being able to set us up with what drills and what technique to use in the drills, that then the ball machine can feed us to do those drills. I thought that was the combination we had to have, and I think I think we're there, or as far as having the right resources available to us to get the most value out of the ball machine. Anything else about today's? Well, boy, we were at Lincoln Park in Alameda, California. Boy, was that place jammed with pickleball players. I mean, but that's no surprise, right? Picklers are everywhere trying to get on a court.
Yeah, there's only 4 courts too.
Yeah, it was only 4 courts.
Yeah.
So looking forward to, are we ready to go into the future next week and
Okay,
beyond?
go ahead.
Okay, definitely next week. I need to work on my serve. The great thing about the slinger bag is, it has 72 balls in it right now. It's on wheels, so I can use that as a basket, and I can go to where we drill, and I can just pick the balls out of there and just work on my serves, and then just wheel the bag around to pick up all the balls afterwards. So I'm going to be working on my serves.
And return, you said.
Yeah, I have a reasonably good return. Lately, I've been working on getting more height and trying to get it really deep without going over the going out. And so I'm going to continue to work on that. And I did see a Deco bar video with Simone where he showed how to do the kind of like the slice, the backspin type slice to slow that ball down. I think if I had to play today, my return is good, but I want to see if I can work on that dimension a little bit. So that's kind of the week ahead. What are you going to be focused on?
Oh, just my punch volleys.
Punch volleys.
Oh, and my footwork. I really want to work on getting myself set and not rushing my shot. So I want to be able to get myself set, do a split step if I can. Jordan Briones does have a good video on practicing your split step, and I'm going to be practicing that.
And how about a little more height on your serve?
Yeah, I think today I was not hitting it that high, but
yeah,
I mean my normal service.
Yeah,
is
you're
good.
normally pretty deep, and today the courts compared to where we normally play seemed a little smaller, but okay, that's good. Well, we're also thinking about doing a trip. We're located here in California, San Mateo. We wanted to go to Las Vegas to the convention center where they have the pickleball courts inside. But it's too hot there, going to be like 111 degrees. Then we were going to go to Southern California. It's going to be warm down there. So we're thinking about going up through Oregon, up through Ashland. Some friends of ours are going to be playing a tournament there in August. Hiller Park, I think. And we've started to check out places that have open play in Oregon. So we may hop in our van camper van and head up there for a few days, and then we'll build some content about these various
There's
courts.
places to play.
Yeah, and maybe we can get a few people to do interviews or something like that. So that's one thing that we're looking forward to do.
Well, so new for me, I ordered the Scorpius paddle, the Anarite version, 14 millimeter, and I'm looking forward to that arriving. And hopefully it has supposed to have more power and more pop, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to trying it out.
And maybe even more control than your current paddle tech, although, you know, you do well control-wise with your current paddle tech. So, but
well, Pickleball Studio and Jordan Briones and Caden Deemboff, they all like the Scorpius. So that's the latest paddle from Hula. Before this, I played with a 16 millimeter. What is it?
Ben Johns?
No, I played with a 16.
Shelly Hen.
No.
Oh.
My own, the Engaged Pursuit.
Oh, the Engaged Pursuit.
And it was a little heavy for me. It was an 8.25. And the Anarite, I requested a paddle either 7.7 to 7.8 ounces. So I think it hopefully. And the paddle tech I'm using right now is 7.6, I believe. So I'm looking for it to come.
Okay, and that means we'll probably do a podcast down the road. So I guess maybe just to start closing things up, keep in mind the carbon paddle eraser. There's a link to it in the video description, an Amazon link. If you're interested in the product, again, if you use that link to purchase it or another item on Amazon at no additional cost to you, we get some affiliate marketing credit. And there'll be other items that'll be popping in there, like my new leggings. I'm wearing them and trying them out. I don't like to put a lot.
Well, there's sun protection.
There's sun protection because I don't like to put sunscreen on because then you get in your car and you get your seats all oily and all that jazz. But anyway, so keep an eye.
I'm going to mention for sun protection, I recently went to my dermatologist, and so I'm trying to protect my neck from getting sun exposure. So this is a sun protection scarf from Riptide, which is, you know, I think it's attractive, and you can use it as a regular cowl under a sweater if you want, but it's very light, so it doesn't make you feel like you're overheated. And also today at Costco, they had sun protection shirts by Hang 10 for both men and women, and they're pretty inexpensive and very, very good product.
And she bought me a couple, and I always ask her not to do that, but that's another story for another time. We're running a little bit long here, so if you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. And what do we say?
Like, share, and subscribe.
Okay.
And see you on the court.
See you on the court.